Tom Crean goes on the radio and spits mad wisdom about the Hoosiers. And could Mike listen to this guy? We'll find out. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple. I win.
For three on the way.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this Hoosiers community on here. So we have an exciting episode for you today. Tom Crean, he goes on this radio show. I thought it was really interesting, the stuff he said, and more than anything, it's gonna be like, it's so easy. It's so easy. The stuff he's saying, it's easy to do, hard to execute. It's easy to say out loud, but this is the stuff that Indiana needs to do. Will Mike Woodson do it? No, he will not. He will not do any of this stuff. He won't listen to anybody but himself. You heard it from him the other day. He's doing it. He's going by his gut from here on out. So that's what we're going to get the rest of the year. But I thought these clips were worth it to take a look at it because, look, Tom Crean got it. I don't think he should be the coach of Indiana, or there are some crazy, stupid people out there saying maybe Indiana should hire Tom Crean. No. Do not hire Tom Crean back. Does he know basketball? Yes, he does wear people out. He wears people out. But one thing I did really appreciate him, which you probably know from watching this show, I am like a really high energy person. Tom Crean is a high energy person. I find people, if you're going to coach people or you're going to work with people, I find people that are slow as molasses and moving at the speed of Mike Woodson to be like just awful to deal with in the real world. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining me on Indiana Sports Connection. Hit that subscribe button down below and let's get this video out to a lot of Hoosier fans. Hit that like button, try to get the video to 200 likes, and the channel has been blowing up like crazy lately. I have giveaways lined up. There will be a giveaway on the show tomorrow from the 2,100 subscribers. So look out for that giveaway tomorrow. And I normally just pull a random number off my phone and then pick one of the comments from the video. If you leave a comment down below, you're guaranteed to be entered to win one of the shirts when the video hits 100. And the video is brought to you by BetUS. Use my promo code Indiana125 to save 125% on your first 3 deposits, and 10% of the AdSense revenue on this channel goes to T2T.org. Without the veterans, we are nothing. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. Alrighty then, Hillbilly Monkey. So I gotta tell you, I'm down there at the Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I got the cummerbund on and the bow tie, and Tom Brokaw comes walking by. I gotta tell you, I looked great. How was that?
Need some work. Okay.
All right, well, let's get right into the clips. Tom Crean, and he spits mad wisdom on this was like something, not JMV The Ride, but some Indianapolis station. I can't even tell you what it is. He went in deep depth about the Indiana team. And look, we beat Ohio State. That's a garbage team. We play Northwestern next. That's a garbage team. I think we're going to have a tough time. And then after that, we play some real teams, some real tough teams, and let's see how we look against those teams. Okay, that's where the measuring stick really is. How do we measure up against the top 10? Because we're not even close. So all the people out there worried that they're not going to fire Mike Woodson, I mean, look, you got to fire Mike Woodson. You will lose like a ton of fans. That place will be empty next year. You think last Tuesday was ugly? Hire him on and have him back here next January. It'll be like that on acid. Oh my God. Can you imagine it? This clip, it's about 2 minutes long, and it's Tom Crean talking about what he sees on the team right now and what they need to do to change. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll that clip.
Well, they've had some success. There's no doubt that when they've had success, it's kind of looked the same. And when they haven't had success, it's kind of looked the same. And to me, with an analyst hat, with a coach hat on, big picture part first, they've got to get an identity of rebounding. I mean, they're not it's not even close when they don't play well on the offensive glass. And it comes down to effort. It comes down to, and by effort, I mean going. I don't mean getting it. I mean going, and like going for real, not running into a back and stopping, not watching. There's way too much of that, because most of the games that I watch for television, I also chart them like I coached, right? Like I think that's one of the things that I've enjoyed most about television is when I watch the game, it's still like game planning. And so the offensive rebounding and the defensive rebounding, the lack of hitting, physicality, awareness, those things all play into it. And I think big picture, that's got to be key. But to me, when teams struggle against teams that really spread it out, like an Illinois, like an Iowa, it's not necessarily how they spread it out. It's how quick they get it up the court. And in charting the game the other night, of the 60 points in the first half that Illinois scored, 34 of them came in the first 10 seconds of the clock. And Iowa, I don't know the exact numbers on that one, but watching that game, it was much the same. Teams are attacking early, and I think there's got to be they've got to get the ball stopped early. They've got to get communication picked up early. They've got to be more ready defensively early on, whether it's a pick and roll, whether it's a quick three, whatever it is. And Illinois does that to teams. I mean, that's how they buried Oregon so early a couple of weeks ago out in Oregon. And those things have to be taken. But
yeah, some of the words he said like just rung so true with me. It's like they look exactly the same. When they don't play well, it looks exactly the same. And it's just effort based. And then the word hitting. You have to hit people to get rebounds, not just like what he said, the running into somebody's back, just letting people kind of like dictate what you're doing. That's what I see out of this team. It is so frustrating. They really got to just take the bull by the horns. You know, what could have changed this team around? Playing some harder teams early in the season, maybe like playing some tougher games in November and December, that would have maybe toughened them up. But so far, I mean, we are just so far away from seeing this team get anywhere. Let's go to the next clip here. Talks about the next issue right here, about the guard play and everything like that. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll it.
It starts with the guards. And I don't know if that's popular opinion. I don't know how people see it. That's how I see it. The guards are not doing enough to make everybody else better on the floor. There's not enough movement at times. There's not enough random basketball is not dribble into a shot. Random basketball is spacing. It's driving and kicking. It's making the next pass, then another pass. And the old adage, and we lived on it everywhere I've coached since I've heard it, is the ball finds energy. And the ball doesn't find a lot of energy a lot of times in that offense. And it's not that it just stops. It's that it doesn't keep moving in a quick pace. So it may get passed, but it gets passed because there's not another option to shoot it. And I think it starts with Galloway and Rice and Carlisle. And I think those guys, we can look at the shooting. You can look at the missed shots. Yeah, that's part of it. They also have the capability of making everybody else better on that team. And it starts at the point of attack on defense. When we recruited Kanan Carlisle at Georgia, he was one of the absolute best on-ball, pick-up full-court defenders that I'd recruited. I mean, without question, when he was a younger player. That's still in him, right? And so much of this comes down to, are you going to make each other better? In this day and age, it's really, really hard to get a team to understand they have to play for one another. Transactional world now with NIL, with portal, all that stuff. Everybody's dealing with it. But it's the teams that come together that figure out, like, this is us. This is us. No one's coming to save us. We got to make each other better. We got to be more committed to what we're doing on the glass. We got to be more committed to each other. And it's got to be demanded and brought out.
Mike Woodson just does not get it. Like, Mike Woodson does not get guard play, that it is so important in college basketball. And not the same way that guard play, like how Chris Paul plays in the NBA, it's not the same thing in college. It's like the ability, like he said, to make everybody around you better. Like Miles Rice, he's struggled with that. I would not say, like Miles Rice, that he is a great passer on this team. Galloway, like his passing's falling apart. Then Carlisle, he's like a god-awful passer. I mean, some of the passes he makes are awful. Now, Carlisle, he's got that in him. I mean, Tom Crean recruited him, and, he's got that defensive player in him, and I just don't know. What do we know? Like, do we know what happens to these players when they come to IU? It's like even Luke Goody's struggling with his shooting. It's like something is messed up inside with the culture, because you're seeing guys that were good other places, and when they get in this culture, it's a culture of lackadaisical, lackability, like luster. It's lackey. They're lacking it everywhere. You know why? Because Mike Woodson's out there smoking cigars and just not giving a shit. And that's evident because these are kids and they need to be like, I was going to say groomed, but that might get my video deleted. But these kids need to be made into something beyond like what they were when they first got here. All the people that come in here, they just walk away. Crean here, he talks about the portal and how things have changed with that, and then how, like, because of this money, because of the portal, why the accountability, it's got to be there even more. I think that's why you're seeing the younger coaches really flourish, and you're seeing some of the older guard, even coaches that are great coaches like Jim Larinaga, that just walk away because something's changed, and it is the money. Money changes people. It really does. So, roll it, Hillbilly Monkey.
Probably anywhere near under $4 million, including Georgia, right? Like, these programs have so much money. So, like, everything has changed. The portal has changed it. It's become harder and harder to get guys to understand that they have to play for each other. Every team, and I had numerous teams like this at Indiana. I had them at Georgia. Everybody has this, that has any type of good program. You have numerous guys in your team that all think they're going to the same place at the same time, and that's the NBA. They all think. It doesn't matter what you think, what I think, what a writer thinks, it doesn't matter. Our perception is not their reality. Their perception is their reality. And what happens is you get a lot of players that all think they're going to the same place at the same time, whether we believe it or not, and you have to understand that as you coach them, and you have to continue to get them to see they're not going anywhere without each other. And you have to keep, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to keep doing it. And I'm not trying to be negative on coaching. This is coaching in general. This could be Indiana. This could be any place. You have got to get your guys to understand on a continual daily basis that they're not going anywhere without each other. And because, like the other night, how many NBA people do you think were at that game? I mean, when you got Illinois.
That's right. You're not going anywhere without each other. Like, the guards got to help these guys. This whole team looks like not a one guy from this team is going to the NBA. I'll tell you that much. I hope they realize that, because they're playing so selfish and self-centered. And look, that's what Mike Woodson's telling them, to dump the ball down into the post. You think these guards want to do that also? No, they want to play on the outside. That's fun. That's what basketball is now. That's what Golden State turned the basketball world into, because they showed you, if you can shoot from the outside, you can stretch a defense like a rubber band, and then nobody's as much down low anymore. So that's the whole key to the whole thing, is spreading the floor. You still got good post play, but you got to utilize outside shooters. All right, in this next clip, he just talks about how all these guys in college, guys he coached, a bunch of them, they all think they're going to the NBA. And they do have to understand this stuff, that none of them are going to the NBA if they don't play for each other out there. So let's roll this last clip. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll it.
The bottom line is, if you don't make each other better, if you're not committed to energy, if you're not committed to doing the hustle things, the hard work things, laying it out, especially at a place like Indiana, because there's no place in the country that respects hustle, determination, extra effort, caring about your teammates. There's a lot of programs that care about it, and a lot of fan bases that care about it, nobody's bigger than Indiana on that. That's how it's built. And so you may not have lived in it to understand that, but that's how you win in basketball if you're going to be successful anywhere. It's just appreciated and rewarded so much more to a place like Indiana because that's how people see the game, and that's how it was built to be what it is. So that's the thing to me that is so hard, and you got to coach that your entire staff nonstop every day to get them to understand how important each other are to each other's success presently and moving forward in the future.
That's right. I mean, we are all like basketball purists. Maybe not all of us, 100%, but most Indiana fans, when I go to the games, when I watch games with Indiana people, or compared to watching a basketball game in New Jersey, the people here, you go just to a bar and watch a game, people in Indiana know basketball, unlike people in New Jersey or people anywhere else in the country that you go to. People in Indiana, they respect a good bounce pass into the lane. They respect like the little hustle plays, the aggressiveness. We get it. That's what it was built upon. Tom Crean is right. Like, that's why we demand that you do those things, because look, from the beginning, it wasn't like a bunch of like people playing basketball at the beginning was like guys like John Wooden and Branch McCracken, just like some regular dude. It wasn't some, high flying, 5-star player and all this stuff. The fundamentals of the game matter to Indiana people, that you have a good shooting. Somebody teaches you how to shoot. I see so many guys these days, like who taught Xavier Johnson how to shoot like this? I mean, God dang, right? Get your fingers in a T right here, okay? That's what Indiana basketball has to be about, the fundamentals, the little things. That is all the stuff that we just love. And hopefully the next coach brings that in and brings it to us all. Who knows who that will be? I've got all my, Chris Beard out there. That's who I want. I could definitely see some other people's names coming up the list. I've seen Ben McCollum. I don't know enough about him yet. We are basketball purists. And the other thing, I mean, we're going to be a basketball powerhouse as soon as we get the right coach. We just need to get the right leadership in here, and this thing will turn around. Because you saw our football program that sucked forever, and this day of NIL and the way that the world is these days, it doesn't matter where you are. You can win in basketball anywhere. You can build a good basketball culture at Gonzaga and be a winner. It doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is, we need the coach. We need a guy that's going to usher in that culture, the accountability, and the fundamentals that, quite frankly, all of us Indiana fans have been clamoring for years. Hillbilly Monkey, what do you think about all this?
Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey lamp that's sold at Home Goods, it's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection.
Oh man, like those Tom Crean years are starting to feel like Bob Knight years already. I mean, it's not even been a decade, but we've been losing so badly. I mean, what the hell with these guys? I mean, they're finally... Oh God, it is just so frustrating. As an old timer, as a person to watch the basketball game for my whole life, and then you get these guys out there and they're making money and then they still ain't doing shit. I mean, come on, what are you talking about with this? I mean, you got to get it together. And you're right, it's not Dusty May. Maybe Dusty may come. Fact of the matter is, you just get a good leader in here and he's gonna change the whole thing lickety split.
You're damn right. He's going to come in here and change this whole thing up. Lickety split. Talk more tomorrow about the Northwestern game, because definitely that's going to be a tough game on the road. And then after that game, Indiana's schedule, we'll start talking about it, gets really, really, really tough, because then we start playing the Purdue's and Michigan State's, the tough teams. Because right now you can look at our schedule, and I don't care if he says it's 14-5. It doesn't mean shit, because we've played a lot of the weak teams. We played some of the weak teams even without some of their best players. So we will be looking forward to that this week and see how it all unfolds. But But thank you for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.